When people ask me what my favourite movie is, sometimes I don't have an answer. Other times I say... Scott Pilgrim vs. the World was released in 2010 and was directed by Edgar Wright. The film is based on the comic series of the same name written by Brian Lee O'Malley, and is widely considered as being one of the best comic book adaptations of all time. Both the film and the comic book share the same storyline, give or take a few details. The story follows Scott Pilgrim, who, in order to date the girl of his dreams, must defeat her 7 evil exes. The film is heavily stylized, taking a lot of visual elements directly from the comics, often making use of text physically showing up on the screen. This can help with a lot of the visual gags in the movie, which the film is absolutely filled with, and honestly they're hilarious. My favourite by far being this one.
Is Scott here?
You know what? He just left.
Really?
Yeah. Sorry.
What makes this scene even funnier is that they practically had a stuntman dive through that window, which leads me on to my admiration of how much of this film was done practically. You might notice that dust comes off of the characters when they're fighting sometimes in this film, which is because dust was actually applied to the actors before the scene. It's a detail that's absence wouldn't be noticed had it not have been there, but it just shows the level of attention to detail that Edgar Wright put into the movie. The film's fight choreography is really fast paced and it's very engaging to watch. Words also appear on the screen here as established previously. They use onomatopoeia for the sound effects during the fight scenes. They aren't intrusive and they definitely blend in well with the film's already established tone.
We are Sex Bob and we're here to make you think about death and get sad and stuff!
This is the beginning of the song.
This film is very notable for its soundtrack, and you might not know this, but the cast members actually formed a band that played most of the songs. These songs are also extremely catchy and work very well within the context of the film. The songs are often heard at integral moments of the film, for example at the different rounds of Battle of the Bands, and when Scott arrives at the Chaos Theatre. Speaking of Scott, portrayed by Michael Cera, he is accurately portrayed to be not a very good person. He's cowardly, he hides from his problems, and he literally cheats on people. Due to how well his character is executed in terms of both writing and acting, Scott is very entertaining to watch, and I feel that he fits better with Ramona than he does with Knives. It's also interesting to note that there was an alternate ending filmed in which Scott ended up going back with Knives. While Knives is obviously the nicer character, I feel that Scott doesn't really deserve to be with her and fits better with Ramona, and honestly, I like this ending, but I feel like the one that we got was probably better fitting. If you didn't already know, this film absolutely tanked at the box office, which is really heartbreaking, especially when you consider how much love and effort was poured into the making of the film by everyone involved. Since its release though, the film has gained somewhat of a cult following and definitely has a bigger fan base than it did back when it released. And it's honestly great to see so many people enjoying this film that I absolutely love. It's one of the very few comic book movies that effectively captures the essence of its source material, in a way that doesn't compromise the story or take the audience out of it too much. The writing is amazing, and it really makes you feel for the characters and get invested in their story. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is a fantastically made movie that I love so much, and honestly, it might be the best comic book movie ever made.
Continue. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4,